Alright, today I'm just going to be recording on my Craftsman DLT 2000, purchased roughly around 2000. Last year I bought the Craftsman snow cab, and as you noticed, I'm no longer using it because it's essentially a piece of shit. First snowstorm and the front cracked, and they replaced it and I never used it. So I made myself a homemade snow cab. As of right now, just using some 3/4 inch by 1/8 square bar, and basically, you know, I've got a Harbor Freight's welder and stuff, grinder and so forth, which I have over there. And my only suggestion, I'm not a welder, but my only suggestion would be do not use their the wire that comes with it. It's very dirty, it spatters a lot, and you end up more time cleaning than you actually do welding. And I would stick with the Lincoln, I think it's a 210 MP, which is a multi-pass, so once you clean the slag off it, you can throw a second bead over it. I'm definitely not a welder, but thank God for a grinder, because at least I could square my corners off and put in my windows that are currently being cut at a plate and glass here in Haverhill, Massachusetts. So basically here, my roof, I used I think it was a 20 gauge or whatever, galvanized. It was roofing, galvanized, and yeah, it'll make some noise and so forth, but right now, I started doing this in October, so I got to figure out what I got to do and get it done. But I riveted basically on and in, underneath, did some cross, and riveted to that. So I used some liquid nail I used 2 pieces of steel and right down the middle, so I got a seam. But as you can see, the liquid nail on one side and then the rivets on the other. So kind of holding it in, and then when I used the flat bar on the perimeter of the unit for 2 factors: A, to hold to secure the steel there, but also to place my windows. So I have a little bit of a lip on the inside here from my plexi to, and I need to add one to this side and then over here as well. So my back will be completely plexi. The front will be an actual window, which laminate or whatever a car window is, so it'll be flat, and next year I'll probably have a windshield wiper on it or something like that. The front here has, you know, a spot for your feet to go out as far as your brake, and over here and down below will be plexi. Right now, I have a Craftsman 42 inch snow thrower, which I will be putting a power motor from a car on the chute for an up and down motion with another actuator. And then I already have an actuator on the lift, so it lifts up and down. The wheels here I change out. I throw a 16 inch wheel on, which gives me an extra inch on the lift of the snowblower as well. I do have some chains that I do throw in the back here. The weight factor of this, I couldn't even guess how much it weighs. I'm assuming, you know, when it's done, it'll probably be over 100 pounds. So the weight, I'm going to forego my back weight here, see if that makes any difference if I don't move well. The thing is, it's automatic. I don't want to blow the transmission out with too much weight, so we'll see how that works. If it doesn't, then I throw the weight on the back, no big deal. So basically windows, that's a window. What I plan on using, and if anybody has any input on this, why I shouldn't, I have a deep charge battery, which I use or will be using with my trolling motor on a canoe this summer with fishing with my son, and I was gonna put that right where my cup holder goes and basically connect it up, and I don't know if I'm gonna parallel it to the battery on the mower or not. If I do, then I don't know if I need to throw an isolator on there or not. Again, anybody has any thoughts, let me know. So for now, this is just where I'm at. My the way I attach things down there, and you can see the T-weld. I threw some screws in there. Threw an extra piece of 3/4 in there with a screw through it to support, and because the corner piece here, if it didn't, it was too heavy and it would have snapped the weld onto the piece there. And then on the back here, I throw a bolt through, screw the hole, and attach that there, as well as over here on the left side. And then the left side where the brake is, again, just welded up a T there and so forth. Yeah, the welds aren't pretty, but they hold together. I've banged them and bounced them around, and they seem to hold pretty well. So right now my door is off because I'm throwing my flat bar on. And basically over here, under all my extra metal, is my door, which will be all window. I need to throw some flat bar on that, and you know, basically secure that up. So basically for now, that's where I'm at. And I, again, avoid that Craftsman if you can, snow thrower. And I'll further update on my continuations when I get my windows this week. Take care. Alright, so here is my cab off the tractor. Basically a flat bar, got a primer on it. And the only thing is when I took it off, I kind of rolled it off the front, and my weld, as I said, I'm not a great welder, come off, so I'll have to replace that. And for the roof, I used some of that rubber stuff, the commercial there with the guy who did a boat, odd as it is. I just sprayed it with the rubber, and I got a second coat I'm going to throw on it. And then my windows will be ready by next week, and I will further up with that. I'm just going to heat her up underneath there. It's 40 degrees out, just to kind of help cure that overnight. And that will be it. Alrighty, and just a little update here on where I'm at here. So the back window is a laminated glass. Unfortunately, the laminated glass in the front, and I cracked it. So I just went with a polycarb 1/4 inch. From the front perspective, you know, just using the 1/8 inch polycarb, and yeah, seems to do the trick. Right here I have some plastic of some sort. I gotta figure out the shapes, and I'll end up just using some snaps so I can open and close the hood here. And inside the roof, I'm probably gonna do a little rubber insulation or something just to kind of, good man, is it is loud in here when you turn it on. And the door I put on yesterday. Right now I'm just putting the windows on. 1/8 inch Lexan or polycarb, and I haven't quite figured out how latch I'm going to do with yet here. Pretty much we'll go from there, and then my next step will be to figure out the automation for my chute and ups and downs and lefts and rights. And that should be it for now. Alright, so what we have here is my finished product for what we're going to call for this year. So basically my homemade snow cab and my door. Actually I purchased a shed handle, and the inside there turns down, locks it in, and that's pretty good. I mean, it's doable. Basically all my windows, other than my back one, my back I have laminated glass. Front I broke my laminated glass, so I now have 1/4-inch Lexan. And the front here, where I had it open, my neighbor had some old winterized stuff for his boat, which I ended up just cutting and then putting in some snaps, snapping it in, so I can open the hood. As far as the snow blower, I'll put on some new shoes here. I have a couple of 35 watt light bulbs in the front here. And as far as my automation, the shoot up and down, and then my power window motor. I bought a 3/4-inch or something ratchet from Harbor Freights, and cut down my device and tapped or died, or whatever they call it, to put a 7/16 screw, and that goes inside there. So let's go inside here. I don't know if that's even worth it, but it's just a Harbor Freights heater fan. It costs $6, so we'll try that, see what happens. In the corner here I have my trolling motor, which is we use in the summertime, and I just kind of hooked up my powers for my lights and my automation, and I just get inside here, and kind of a hodgepodge, but nothing. I'll clean it up next year. At this point it's February and I just want to get this thing done. As far as left and right and up and down, and then on my I have another actuator on the bottom there. That just lifts it up and down. Pretty good. Lights for that. And we did a little bump out for each foot. Access to my gas. On the back here, I bought this. It's a plug-in light. It's not too bad. It was like $7 or $8 on Amazon. It is a plug. I'm gonna just cutting it. It's on a magnet. I don't know if it'll stay or not, but I'll end up cutting that and splicing it onto a switch just to turn off and on. And if it falls off, then I'll just secure it. A couple of magnetic strips, which I did get at Harbor Freights. I'm not a professional with anything, so to me Harbor Freights is more than adequate. So that's it for now. I don't know if I mentioned before, for my snow I changed my tires, so rather than the 15s that came with it, I purchased some 16-inch tires just to kind of give me an extra lift with the unit itself. So I get 4.5 inches off the ground with the actuator, and then that just gives me an extra inch. So when I'm all said and done, I'm off full up, I'm off the ground about 6.5 inches, which is pretty good. Other than that should be it. Suggestions and improvements, anything that I missed or did not do right, please set forward.